Hello, everyone, and welcome to Steve Rosenfield's Stand-Up Comedy Workshop show. What you are going to see tonight is a company of stand-up comedians who have trained together in a workshop conducted by the award-winning comedy director, founder of the American Comedy Institute, and author of the book Mastering Stand-Up, Steve Rosenfield. Some of the comedians who have trained in this workshop have gone on to perform on The Tonight Show, The Late Show, Saturday Night Live, Conan O'Brien, Gotham Comedy Live, Comedy Central, and they perform in the best comedy clubs all over the United States and all over the world. And speaking of all over the United States, we have comics performing from all over the United States tonight because with our workshops online, now no matter where you live, you have the opportunity to pursue your dream of doing stand-up comedy and you get to work with Steve right from your own home. Also, some of our comics tonight are making their stand-up comedy debut for you tonight. So thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to have a great show. And my name is Michaela. I'll be your host this evening. So relieved. I've narrowly escaped Florida. I was there for months. I went there at the beginning of the pandemic and spent a decent amount of time, but I wasn't alone. I was actually with two wonderful quarantine partners. Ladies and gentlemen, they've been married for 26 beautiful years. They've watched all 8 seasons of Dexter thrice. And they're still a little iffy about global warming. It's Mike and Tina Fagan. It was my parents. They were great. I loved spending time with them. So fun. They lived in a 55 and over community, which meant that for quite a length of time, I lived in a 55 and over community. So I fell asleep every night knowing I was the only fertile woman in at least a mile. And if this became a situation where we had to repopulate the earth, there was going to be a line of old men knocking down our door. So I had to get out as soon as I can, but not before I already established the parameters of the competition that would have eventually ensued. So it would have started with you have to have an active driver's license to enter. Then it was going to be a jitterbug competition just so I could gauge their energy and their style. And then a bocce ball tournament to the death. I would procreate with the lone victor. So I got out just in time. I'm back in New York now. I am an only child, but I had a pretty fun childhood. I wasn't lonely because American Girl dolls tend to fit the average size house cat, and I had a particularly indifferent and patient one. So I had a good time. I also played with a lot of Barbies. I kind of resent the idea of this Barbie dream house, though. Like that house was never my dream, and I want to be able to dictate my Barbie's dreams, not Mattel, you know? I never would have dreamed of anything that open concept. Like clearly it's in California and I'm a New York girl. It's just like this ostentatious McMansion built to the edge of its property lines. I don't see why that's something I would want. So, but I've moved on. I've moved on. As a child, though, I really feel like I could have been a competitor in beauty pageants. I wanted to be in that child beauty pageant circuit, but never got the chance. I have thought, though, about what my introduction would be should I have to strut onto this stage. I think it'd probably go like, and now, coming to the stage is little Miss Michaela Fagan. She's got brown hair, brown eyes, and a golden heart. Her two favorite things to do are rip worms in half and eat Kraft singles straight from their individual plastic packaging. Her record is 23 in a row. Wow, Michaela, that's a lot of cheese. She loves her parents, her cats, and maybe Jesus, but she's skeptical. Her two favorite smells are gasoline and pork. And when she grows up, she'd like to be a Radio City Rockette. Good luck with that. You're a tiny thing. Or rich. This is little Miss Michaela. I'd strut out there. I think I could have been Ultimate Grand Supreme like once, just once. College was fun. I'll be honest with you. I feel comfortable with you now. In college, I was a lesbian, and I still am because I'm not a quitter. I don't quit even when things get hard. I'm not the only queer person in my family, though. I have a wonderful aunt who is gay. She is a wonderful wife, and they love to give me advice, but it's just a little outdated, thankfully. But I do come to them with questions like, okay, how long should I wait until I message this girl on TikTok? And they're like, okay, yeah, we got this. Here you go, McKay. First thing you're going to want to do, step number 1, marry a man. Wait 10 to 12 years. I'm like, I don't think he understood my question. They're like, no, it's all part of the process, okay? Wait, 10 to 12 years. Then at your weekly all-girls poker game, go on up to your friend Debbie, kiss her clumsily and passionately on the side of the cheek. Wait 10 to 12 more years. It never happened. Got that? That's step number 2. Then at your goddaughter's communion, don't worry, Debbie will be there. She's like family. Go on up to her, tell her you'd die for her. Then kiss her full on the mouth in front of the priest. Live happily ever after in secrecy. Tell absolutely no one. Does that help? I'm like, no, not really, but thank you. I appreciate it. I love you. Thank you all so much. My name's Michaela. I'll be with you throughout the evening, but I'm so excited to bring your first comic to the screen. He is so funny. He's a great friend all the way from Cambridge, Massachusetts. Give it up for Isa O'Neill.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm back in college over Zoom at full price. Frankly, I think they should be charging me extra. It's the most fun I've ever had in college. I love the new rules our professors have made for our Zoom classes to make sure students like I keep paying attention. One of the professors grades us based on how many questions we ask in class. I often ask him, could you please repeat that? And what exactly do you mean by a 10-page paper? And when you say you get us our grades by Friday, will that be in the morning or the afternoon? I'm taking another class, American Dreams, American Lives, which grades me based on how many comments I make in class discussion. In our first class, the professor asked us to tackle the issue of early colonization efforts from an intersectional deconstructionalist angle. One student raised his hand and asked and said, I'd like to comment that white saviorism has been a tool, along with racialization, to reify tropes and allot minorities into a convenient part of our historical narrative. Now, I didn't know what anyone was saying. I didn't know what was happening. But I knew that I had to say something in order to get a good grade. So I raised my hand. I said, I like to say that along with white saviorism and allotmentistic oppressionism, we need to consider bipartisan binary sexism. And the professor said, Isa, I'm not so sure I understand you. Do you think you could clarify? And I said, and the professor said, Isa, please unmute yourself. And I said, my first homework assignment for American Dreams, American Lives, we had to write about a song that represented the American dream. I chose God Bless America. I wrote that the melody was derivative, the lyrics were predictable, and the chord progression was incredibly cheesy. I got a D back on the assignment. The professor said that the purpose of the assignments were to write my own opinions about the message of the content and how I felt emotionally about it. And the issue was, I can't do that because I don't give a shit. So I knew for the next assignment, I would have to write the way an emotional, sensitive person would. I wrote, Disney's Pocahontas does not engage in any intersectional discourse concerning colonization, gender roles, and bipartisan binary sexism. The professor started next class by mentioning how interesting she found my paper to be, but she wanted me to clarify what exactly I meant by bipartisan binary sexism. I said, the other week, my friend called me and he asked me, Isa, aren't you excited to go back to college in person next semester? And I said, not really. There's a lot of things about college in person that aren't that good. And he said, like what? And I said, well, the broken showers, the people that bring music into the broken showers, the lack of hygiene, the fact that the moment you get in a shower, someone's knocking at the door demanding you get out, the people who leave post-it notes on your dorm room door which say, take showers quicker, asshole, the broken stove, the broken microwave, the broken washing machines, the broken dryer, the fights over the one washing machine that does work, your dorm room door that's broken, your roommate, your floor mates, the other students, the professors, the areas, the activities, the accommodation, the heat, uh, the fact that it's a private Methodist university and I'm an atheist, the professors that want you to show up to their office hours so you can get to know each other personally, the professors that assign that as a homework assignment, the professors that give you a D in a class you didn't even want to take, that you run into on your way when you're just trying to get some lunch, the lunches, which are terrible. And did I mention the roommates? The extreme anti-government libertarians who took one microeconomics class and think they know everything. The people who take one gender studies class and make sure to make it your problem. The people that ask you, have you seen Joe Rogan? No, I haven't seen Joe Rogan. I haven't got a lobotomy. And last year, my residence hall made local news because of a black mold infection. You've been an above average audience. Thank you.
Isa O'Neill doing his college online. Keep going, keep going. Your next comic coming to the screen is performing from Florida. I'm jealous. I actually wish I was there right now. And her name is Beth Farber.
Good evening. I was complaining to my shrink the other day that my daughter does not take my advice about how she should live her life. And he said to me, there are mothers that are very involved in their lives of their adult children and are very critical and judgmental. Do you want to be one of those mothers? And I said, yes, I do. I want to be one of those mothers. My shrink said, the stereotype of a Jewish mother is that she is domineering and controlling. And I said to him, are you suggesting those are negative traits? That stereotype is my ideal. It's my mission. And I intend to get there, goddammit. I refuse to be the first generation of Jewish mothers in 2,000 years who can't say things like, that dress makes you look like a pumpkin. Who cut your hair? Kim Jong-il? I want grandchildren. Get to work, goddammit. Oh, what a surprise. Nice to hear from you. You called me. How much money do you need this time? And then my shrink said to me, I understand what you want matters, but what's really important is your children are happy with their lives. And I said, oh yeah, I understand. So if my son calls me right after he graduates from medical school and he says he's moving into a trailer park in Alabama to live with his born-again Christian girlfriend who has 8 children. He wants a simpler life, so he's decided not to practice medicine. Instead, he's getting a job bagging groceries at the local Piggly Wiggly supermarket. And he's going to take what's left of the money he got as gifts for his bar mitzvah and donate it to a new organization called Jews for Allah. Then I'm going to say to him, sweetie, That's wonderful. I'm so happy for you. Just one thing. Before you move to Alabama, you really should buy a gun. And then do me a favor, shoot me. I wish my parents had been more involved in my life. Then maybe my first day of kindergarten wouldn't have been so traumatic. Everyone was singing Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques. My parents never sang that song to me, or any song. I'm listening to this and thinking, geez, couldn't my parents have at least found a kindergarten where they spoke English? Finally, I asked the teacher, what is a Frère Jacques? And she said, it's not a thing, it's a person, a French monk, Brother John. I said, is he here? Does everyone know him by me, but me? Am I the only Jew here? Because you know what? We don't sing to monks. Next, they sang Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Old MacDonald had a farm. Who cares? If they subdivided it, now that would be something to sing about. And I didn't get, why are they singing to all these farm animals? Moo moo here and a quack quack there. I don't give a shit. I don't know from these animals. Why not a song about an animal I knew something about, like a gefilte fish? One thing I did learn in kindergarten was to stay the fuck away from the farmer's wife. You know, there are these three blind mice. Three mice and they were blind. Could anything be more harmless than that? But the farmer's wife, she cut off their tails with a carving knife. What a bitch. Truthfully, I really hated kindergarten. Every day they gave us pineapple juice for a snack. To this day, when I smell pineapple juice, I feel sick. But then I comfort myself by thinking, you know what? I've done okay in life. But Frère Jacques, I bet he was caught diddling little boys. That pedophile. Old MacDonald, he went bankrupt and had to sell his farms for a song. And that sadist, the farmer's wife, I think she was outed by PETA. And now she's probably in hiding in a trailer park in Alabama in a threesome with old MacDonald and Frère Jacques. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Beth Farber. Beth, fantastic. You're right. We don't see a lot of stars out here in Brooklyn. I've been wishing on the planes flying into LaGuardia. I get a wish every 30 seconds. It's fantastic. I'm so excited about your next comic. She's a wonderful friend. So lovely. You will love her all the way from Flower Mound, Texas. Give it up for Holly Van Stratten.
That's right. I'm Holly Van Stratten, not Sarah Palin. A guy rushed up to me at the bar and he says, "Oh my God, you look just like Sarah Palin." He said, "I should know because I subscribe and watch a lot of Pornhub. You know, who's nailing Palin?" And I said, "You buy me 2 drinks and you could be whole and Holly." So recently I moved from New York, Midtown Manhattan, to Texas. I am in awe. I still have money left over to eat after paying my rent. Last week I went to get my eyebrows trimmed and I introduced myself to the technician and I said, "Hello, my name is Holly." And she said, "Hi, my name is Ivy." And I said, "Ivy?" And I wasn't sure if she was serious or if she was trying to one-up me on my Bush name game. I have a confession. I am attracted to men in uniform, not the orange and black ones anymore. I did try that, and I was so pleased to always know where he was. And when I asked him, "Hey, what are you doing on the weekend?" He said he was busy for the next 10 to 15 years. I did actually want to be a cop growing up, and I wanted to be a cop, and I failed the eye exam. Yeah, I have this wandering eye. I was at a bar and I met a guy and I asked him to dance, and he looked over his right shoulder at the guy behind him where my eye was looking. And I grabbed his hand and I said, "No, I'm talking to you." We danced. We got married 4 months later. That was a fucking disaster. But I did learn one thing: always trust my crooked eye. I've had one constant in my life, and it is this blind spot. I've always walked into walls, door frames, other people's marriages. Yeah. So I think I offended my boyfriend. I complimented him on his glowing summer like all year round tan. And he said, "Duh, I'm black." I went to work and I actually forgot that I had left some whitening treatments on the counter. And I was afraid that when he saw them, he wouldn't maybe know that they were for his teeth. I actually think my boyfriend is annoyed with me. We were in bed and he said, "We need to actually sit and, have a chat." He said, "Just because I'm a fireman, I don't really care to hear you say, 'Jump out of my uniform and come put out your fire.'" And then he said, "While we're talking about it, please stop saying, 'Slide down my pole and into your hole.'" So then I said, "So is it still okay for me to say, 'Park your big red truck, 'cause I want to fuck'?" My boyfriend, he wears one of those Fitbit, those watches that keep track of your steps, your heart rate, and how many levels you climb. But when we have sex, he puts on a scuba diving watch because it's waterproof, it can tell the time, and it gauges depth. Last week, I was going to an event. I was so excited to go out that I got dressed up with that little black dress. I had on my best jewelry and I was wearing heels. And when I got to the door and the guy was checking me in, he said, "Do you always get this dressed up to get a vaccine?" So, self-discoveries for me during COVID-19. Masturbating. You may have been masturbating too much when your muscles are trained, when you're done, just to shoot the dildo right back into the drawer it came from. So I'm not sure if anybody that's watching gets Charlie horses. You know that pain in your leg that just keeps it's such a bad pain. Well, I get Charlie horses during sex. And I'm not going to quit, so I just keep shaking my leg and shaking my leg. And last week, had such a bad Charlie horse while we're having sex that I started to moan and shook it so hard we both fell off the bed. Yeah, after he said, "My God," he said, "it is always fantastic, but that was fucking amazing. Can we do it again right now?" And I thought to myself, can I fake a Charlie horse? You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful evening. I'm Holly Van Stratten, Holly World Comedy. Thank you.
Holly Van Stratten, everyone. Holly, I miss you. I'm jealous Texas has you now. Miss you so much. Your next comic coming to the screen is making his stand-up comedy debut. We're so excited to have him on the show, all the way from Manhattan. Hi, I can see you. It is the very funny Joel Jeske.
Hello, I'm Joel Jeske, and I taught Al Pacino magic. I had a role in a movie called Two for the Money, starring Al Pacino. And in the movie, I was a magic clown performing at a kid's birthday party. Like most actors, I have a day job. I'm a clown, and I know magic. So I brought all my stuff to the set, and I had my whole show set up behind me. And then suddenly I hear, "Hey, how does all this stuff work?" That's my Al Pacino impression. Look, I'm a clown, not an impressionist. So I turn around, and there's Al Pacino. And he's digging through all of my magic stuff. And, I can't say, hey, get out of my stuff. He's Al Pacino. He'd have me killed. So I show him some of my tricks. And while I'm doing that, suddenly I hear, "That's pretty good." That's my Robert De Niro impression. Wait, I can do the face. So I turn around, and there's Robert De Niro, and he's saying, "Not bad, not bad." This is quickly becoming the most threatening magic show I have ever performed. Now, Al, turns to me, and he says, "Do you really do this, or are you just some guy?" I said, "Yes, I really do this." He said, "Yeah? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. For real? Yeah. For real." Then he and De Niro go, "Whoa!" So De Niro comes up to me and says, "Show me something." All right, so I show him this. I have this ball. I take the ball, take the wand, tap it, voila. So now he tries it. I have this ball. I take the ball. This wand. This wand. I tap it. And it worked. Now he has no idea what's going on. Where'd it go? What just that? Did you see that? Pacino chimes in, "Bobby, what happened to the ball?" I don't know. It's gone. Where'd it go? I say to him, "It's in your hand." They both go, "Whoa!" Then De Niro says to me, You, my friend, you're good. You're good. Yes, you're good. You're good. I was cut from the movie. You guys have been absolutely great. This has been tremendous. I hope we can get together soon sometime. And I'll tell you about the time that Cirque du Soleil paid for my psychotherapy. So until then, I'm Joel Jeske. Thank you very much.
Joel Jeske, stand-up comedy debut. You're good. excellent impressions. I really feel like you could get a Stanley Tucci like quickly. I think you're 70% of the way to a really good Stanley Tucci. From Roanoke, Virginia, it is the very funny Kevin Greenway. Kevin, I'm going to ask you to unmute one more time. And we're ready for him. It's Kevin Greenway.
Hey, Michaela. Well, how's that? Hey, Michaela, thank you. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight. So during the pandemic, I took some of my personal attributes to a whole new level. Most specifically, my laziness. I quit shaving, and it was wonderful. I was saving 5 minutes a day, but I'm getting concerned. I've been through this new look stage, and right now I'm in the distinguished look stage, but I know what's next, the domestic terrace look and stage. I was listening to one of my favorite songs on the way to church last week, AC/DC's Highway to Hell. That was an awkward 3 minutes and 28 seconds. I like that song a lot, but it's a good idea not to walk into church singing Going Down Party Town. My friends are going to be there too. I'm on a highway to hell, especially if you're walking into church for a funeral. When I was growing up, there were ministers that were preaching against rock and roll. They said rock and roll was from the devil, and if you listened to it, you were going to hell. I remember thinking, rock and roll was from the devil? Are you sure it's not country music? Eternal punishment for listening to loud music with a good beat, that seemed a bit excessive to me. I always imagined someone arriving at hell and getting the tour on their first day. This is Adolf Hitler. He was responsible for the genocide of 6 million Jews. And this over here is Vlad Dracula. Vlad was notorious for killing men, women, and children, often impaling them with a stake through their butt. And this is Kevin Greenway. He listened to Van Halen a lot. I was traveling on business recently. I traveled across the country, checked in the hotel late one evening. I didn't feel like going out. So I thought I'd check out the in-room mini bar. The first thing I pick up is the Mile High Club Intimacy Kit. It had massage oil, lubricant, a massager, blindfold, feather tickler, cinnamon mints, and 3 condoms. I just wanted some chips and a Mountain Dew. I remember the first time I saw an attendant in a restroom. It was at a major airport. I walked in and I saw this man standing in a suit next to the sink holding a tip box. I'm wondering, what are people tipping this guy for? What the hell is going on in here? I don't like going to the restroom on an airplane. First of all, you have to parade down the aisle. Everyone knows what you're doing and where you're going. They know you're not headed to the cockpit to see if the pilot needs help with directions or something like that. I always feel like when I'm going into an airplane restroom, a lavatory, I feel like Harry Houdini getting ready to do a great escape. The stewardess is standing there. She's my beautiful assistant. She's hyping my entry, pointing to the door, just like she was pointing to the exit doors when she was doing the pre-flight briefing. And now the amazing Kevin will urinate at 30,000 feet in a cubicle that has the same dimensions as a mine shaft. I'm 6'2". Getting in and out of an airplane lavatory is difficult, and heaven forbid there's turbulence. I feel like every time that I get out of one, the loudspeaker should play, ta-da! I mean, a very difficult feat was just accomplished, worthy of applause. But I guess the only thing more impressive would be if I entered the lavatory at the front of the plane and exited the lavatory in the back of the plane. Thank you very much. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Kevin Greenway. And Kevin, I'm not to be too scientific, but I'm thinking about what law of motion is this where like 2 speeds like actually accumulate? So you're also urinating at like 502 miles per hour if you're facing the right way. Very impressive feat. Wow. Your next comic coming to the screen is also making her stand-up comedy debut. We're so excited to have her all the way from Denver, Colorado. It's Emily Kingsley.
Right. You didn't know it was going to be a variety show, huh? That's right. I know what you're thinking. This is a lot of sexy this early in the evening. You're welcome. This is a flugelhorn, and it's just like me to pick the flugelhorn, which of course is the most erotic instrument in the band. it's not. But back off, fellas. I'm married. I'm married, and when I met my husband, it was magical. Everything was in sync. Flags were waving and people were cheering, and trumpets, they were blaring. It was, we met in marching band. So I was usually the only female horn player at band camp, and the very first day I announced to the dudes that I am the best fingerer, tonguer, and blower. That's right. I was a little misunderstood, but also very popular. A tuba player once told me that if I would let him, he would show me his fingering, tonguing, and blowing skills. And let me put it this way. He could barely play Mary Had a Little Lamb. And I was already ready for Fight of the Bumblebee, if you catch my drift. But, I hate to generalize, and I hate to stereotype, but ladies, if you're with a tuba player, you just got to lower your expectations. Oh no, I just offended like an entire tuba player demographic. I can say that most of my best friends are tuba players. Wah wah. A lot of marriages do come out of marching band, and I think it's just because those outfits are just so damn sexy, And sometimes when my husband and I get a little naughty, we like to put on our black and gold polyester stirrup pants, our Elton John jackets, and the feather dildo cap, the whole 9 yards, and we make great music together, Nah, I'm just kidding. We have 2 kids. We don't have time for naughty anymore. But you know what? Man, I met him when I was 18, and I'm 36, so we've been together for 18 years. That's an entire Billie Eilish. I feel so old. Just to give you some idea as to like how long ago we met. Like, try to imagine this, Gen Z. I met him before smartphones, before dating apps, before dick pics. Gen Z, you definitely have it way better than I did, because the only way I would find out if a guy's penis was weird was if I saw it in person. So I don't know. I feel like dudes have always kind of treated their dick like the after dinner mitt. It's offered without asking. So let's see here. I'm the youngest of 5 daughters, and the story goes that my parents wanted 6 kids, but I treated my mom's womb like a spoiled rock star treats a hotel room. Like I just trashed the place on the way out. Sorry, Mom. But I'm too old to die a rock star, too young to die a legend. So here I am doing stand up in my basement. But it's okay. I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. Are you fine? Let's check in. I'm just gonna sit back. I'm just gonna relax, because you know what? At this very moment, I'm away from my children. That's right. Thank you very much. That was the Superman theme song, and which, as a mom of a 9 and 6-year-old, especially during the pandemic, I think I deserve it when I enter a room. I really just want to get out of bed in the morning. But no one does it for me, so I toot my own horn. I have to, because no one else is gonna. But it's so stressful being a parent, because like one mistake, one traumatic mishap now, and I'm raising the next generation's QAnon Buffalo shaman. So it's a lot of pressure. And moms really don't get vacations. Even family vacations aren't vacations, and I'm certainly not gonna take a vacation by myself, because I'm a flight risk. But doing Zoom comedy, this is fun. It's great. It's better than a comedy club, because like I didn't have to like shove my shoes into really uncomfortable Woo! How's everybody doing tonight? I can talk really good. You don't have to shove my feet into uncomfortable shoes, and I can actually like sit down, And God, My mom's always telling me to cross my legs like a lady, and I am a short, stout person. I can't cross my legs, and when I do so, it's like when they try to like twist a balloon animal. Like there's a lot of unsavory bulges in places and bad noises, and like anyone, oh shit! Oh. I'm Emily Kingsley. Thanks for watching.
Emily Kingsley! So many talents. So many talents. Wow. And I'm with you. My thigh is like too short to hook over my other knee. So it's crisscross applesauce or man spread and nothing in between. That's how I live my life. Wow, fantastic. Your final comic coming to the screen. Our headliner this evening is performing from Topeka, Kansas. I said it right this time. I said it right, but I'll say it wrong because she thinks it's cute. All the way from Topeka, Kansas. It's the very funny Jay Patterson.
Oh, hi, everybody. What a great hour this has been. Okay. Hey, I have alopecia universalis, which means I have no hair anywhere on my body. When women hear this, they'll say, "Oh, Jay, I am so sorry." When men hear it, they go, "Anywhere?" I'm envious of those women when they're jogging and they have that ponytail bouncing and twirling around behind them. I just thought, you know what? Damn it, I want a ponytail. Here it is. I'm going to put it on if I ever exercise. I consider myself to be a pioneer when it comes to online dating. Before online dating, sorry. There weren't any apps when I was young, so I was creative. I put my name and phone number on my golf tees. So if I was golfing with a guy and he asked me for my phone number, I just handed him a tee. It was very effective. Let me put it to you this way. I had foursomes on and off the course. I have driven my husband crazy for 23 years. He likes things neat, and I don't put my stuff away. He likes to eat at home. I don't cook. He likes the house nice and clean. I'm a slob. So I decided to change up things. I hired a life coach. So now my house is spotless. I cook dinner every night, and I quit saying the F word. But my coach says, well, that's great, but you still have to do one more thing. You need to be nice to your husband. Whoa! If I do that, he better be fucking happy. I was a Girl Scout, and I loved those Girl Scout badges, and I wanted all of them. Unfortunately, they didn't make them for the things that I was good at: making out, underage drinking, stealing cigarettes from my dad, and most importantly, forging my mom's name on those badge requirements. Let me tell you, I have a sash full of badges. Well, I showed it to my dad, and he says, I've never seen badges stuck on with safety pins. I don't sew. He says, well, I see 6 badges for sewing. And snow skiing, mountain climbing. Just where did you do that in Kansas? If there's a Girl Scout hell, I'm there. I've made it a point to be very thoughtful when it comes to my parents. When I was single and took a vacation, I made sure a girlfriend knew where my vibrator was if I was killed. That way, she could come over and get it out of my house before my parents got there. I did that because if they would come over, it'd be my dad. Oh my God, our Jay is gone. And my mom would be, oh, you think that's bad? Look at this. I believe in the circle of life. I remember teaching my daughter how to drive, and now the circle has turned. She's now saying things to me that I once said to her. Don't get on the interstate. Oh, for God, get in the right lane. Could you speed up? I'm reading the Bible cover to cover for the first time. My husband thinks I'm demanding. He should read about God. Poor Moses. God has given him the most demanding instructions to build a tabernacle for the 10 Commandments. Listen to this. Listen to this. Make a lampstand of pure hammered gold. Make the entire lampstand and its decorations in a one-piece base. Center, stem, lamp cups, buds, and petals. Make it with 6 branches going out of the center stem and then 3 on each side. The guy was a shepherd. Moses is thinking, pure hammered gold? We don't have water. I think we need to, I think we don't need to find the promised land. I think we need to find a Home Depot. Oh, God bless you all. I'm so glad you're here. Good night.
Jay Patterson. Jay, I have good news for you. The Home Depot to lesbians is the promised land. So we're there. Thank you everyone so much for watching. If you have ever dreamed of doing stand-up comedy, do one of our workshops online. You get to work with Steve Rosenfield right from your own home. Our next one is starting on April 13th. You can visit comedyinstitute.com to learn all about it and get in touch with me, and we'll get you in that workshop. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic